I'm Dr. Berry, licensed psychologist, and here I cover legal and entertainment news from a psychological perspective. Today, gonna take a break from some of the heavier coverage to talk about some of the drama that's been going on with Mr. Beast. Now, there are some heavy aspects of this, and I'm not going to go deep into some of it. Really, I want to talk about the giving and the perception and just give some tips for parents that might have kiddos that are really enjoy Mr. Beast's channel. The hilarious thing about this, not well, like, so I have a dark sense of humor. So when I say hilarious, my child had not watched any Mr. Beast until about 2 to 3 weeks before all of this stuff happened. So he hadn't watched anything. I did watch them with him. And our rule, because the Mr. Beast videos on YouTube Kids are a little different than the ones that are on regular YouTube. And when he watches on regular YouTube, I have some things in place where, my husband and I are there. It's logged into my account so I can see like what he's viewed. And we just have certain boundaries around when he is watching just traditional YouTube. I know there are things you have to watch out for on YouTube Kids as well. Because let me tell you, so they have noticed that kiddos that spend a lot of time on YouTube, sometimes there's an increase in anxiety, but I think it depends on what the kids are watching because my kiddo, he found this channel. Oh my gosh, it was Dr. Langston. What was it called? Dr. That show that would talk about the what ifs. It would be like, what would happen if you never went to the bathroom? Dr. Bynock. That was the one that was like, I had to block that channel because it was some of the information was educational, some of it was teaching him how to catastrophize, and that was a bit of a problem. But I have links to all the articles, to everything that I'll be talking about down in the description. And for anyone that has no clue what's going on, no worries. I'm going to kind of go through everything. So, Mr. Beast, that is it's the most popular YouTube channel. So back when this article was written in May of 2023, at that point, he had somewhere, I think it was like maybe 200 million. I'm going to read. Oh no. So he had over 150 million subs at that point. He is now over 300 million subs. And a lot of his success is based on doing these very I want to say relatable, like he does these prank videos, he does these videos of who can stay in the circle the longest. He One of his first videos that went viral was him just counting to 100,000. Like people just watched him count to 100,000. And there is some psychology behind why his channel works and why things work. Um, but then there's also this philanthropic side of him giving away money. And I do believe that in one of the expose, in one of the videos, people make allegations that it was always about the views and what a person would receive, and it wasn't about the actual giving. And I am going to cover, because I have something that just goes into, is altruism truly unselfish? Like, is there a way to give that is purely unselfish? And I do think that when things happen in a certain way, it's my own personal opinion that giving publicly, that do recording yourself giving somebody in need something, and then posting it online for likes, clicks, and views, I think there's just it doesn't feel good to me. So the giving that I do is in private. It's not something that's public. I do have like a tax benefit because the nonprofits that I donate to send me something where I am able to do a tax write-off. But the reason why I give isn't for that particular reason. But I don't advertise. I don't talk about all of those things. I don't record myself doing it. That's just my own personal thing. Everybody has their way. And this strategy does work for him. And so who is Mr. Beast? Jimmy Donaldson. So at this time, he was 25 years old, because this was once again back from 2023. And I think they now estimate his net worth is, like, possibly approaching, I think that the estimations might be like 1,000,000,000 or something. He's a very famous, very popular YouTuber. He started his channel in 2012 at the age of 13. He was able to drop out of college. Uh, and this article says that he teaches kids to give back. He talks about giving, he talks about generosity. He gives away large amounts of money and prizes. I do think there's this other side of it of support me so I can do these things, give to me so that I can have this money to do those things. And so that's kind of the other side of it. And that can lead us right into some of the more recent drama. So, Dogpack 44 did a video. We are not going to go through all of it. If you haven't seen this video, I have it linked down in the description. The way that he recorded it, it's very fast paced, and I think he has a sense of humor because some of the things he says, he's saying it, I think a part of it was for comedy. And, because I do have a video linked of him going on a different channel, uh, Oompaville. So I have this one linked down here where he's interviewed by this creator, and he just clarifies some of the things from the video and talks about some of this. And so I do have this one linked down below too. But in Dogpack's original video, a lot of his claims are that, number one, that there's this three-step process that MrBeast conditions the viewer that he is a trusted authority, that he can be trusted, that he's this good person. And I have no idea of, the type of person he is. Um with a lot of the allegations that have come forward, I've been a little concerned. So I've had conversations with my own kiddo about, like, hey, if you buy, and he's never tried any of, like, Mr. Beast's products or anything like that. But just that, like, if he buys a candy bar, that he's not going to win a Tesla, or if he does this, because some things are said in the video that I think so I'm saying this in general, I think it can play to a child's psychology. And that was the part that I really wanted to just drive home, because as a parent, that's why I wanted to talk to my kiddo and be like, hey, just a heads up that some things on the video might not be completely true. Like, and my kid just likes watching the video. Like, I don't know that he necessarily cared if it was all, real, but I just wanted to have that conversation, and we'll continue to kind of talk about it. But I just think having communication with your kids is important, as they are engaging with different creators online. Uh, a lot of the allegations that came forward also involved a Discord server with Ava Chris Tyson. And let me see if I can find an image of that individual, because I don't know if that came out in this one. But there are allegations that Ava, in um, that she had inappropriate conversations with minors. There was this Discord server, and and it really just seemed like there were no checks and balances for really anything. And the MrBeast organization has said that they are going to hire more traditional roles within the organization to make sure there are things like fairness in hiring. Because there's this guy recently that came forward talking about how he went for an internship, and he's alleging that his ideas were used and he wasn't compensated for that. And there are just all of these, just, and some people think, oh, it's just YouTube, but no, Mr. Beast is running a multi-million, maybe like like he's running a very popular media company, and has to be aware of, like, the same checks and balances that Amazon Prime or Hulu or HBO, Disney, that these larger media conglomerates will have to be aware of as well. And so, I just a lot of that was truly concerning. And so for parents that do have kiddos on Discord, just you wanna make sure that if a child if they see something that's concerning, that they can come and tell you. If they see something that kinda makes them feel uncomfortable or that maybe shouldn't happen or that maybe isn't okay, that they can come and talk to you about it. And there is this with celebrity, I think some people might lose the power that they have, and there are kids that might not say anything because it's like, "This is MrBeast employee, like, this is" like, they might look up to these individuals, and so there are some kids that might not say anything, and that's where I think the organization, people in power, have to be aware, and they have to conduct themselves in ways that promote safety. I don't have a Discord server because number 1, I'm 42 years old. Discord is not I am on Discord. I'm in like 2 or 3. I barely check it. It's it's like Teams or I don't like I just it's my brain is too old for it. It's not really too old for it. I just don't enjoy it. I have clients that I work with that they are very much into Discord. I've worked with people that have talked about gamers or different streamers having negative interactions with some people that might even be kind of popular, and no minors, but just knowing that, like, hey, just because they're this person on the online, they're still a person. Because I think sometimes we put people on these pedestals and there can be this thing called Schadenfreude. Schadenfreude, it's a German word where it's kind of like taking pleasure in somebody's downfall. And I'm not in any way doing that. The reason why I'm doing this video is just to have a conversation about how we can promote safety for kids in communities, how people can um, make sure to conduct themselves in ways that are appropriate. In Dog Pack's original video, I thought some of another big allegation was about illegal lotteries. So saying that money was going to be given away, like. So if somebody buys a shirt in the next 5 minutes, that they would get a certain amount of money, and that those types of it's considered a lottery, and it's illegal to do things like that. That was an allegation that was in that original video. And and it's just it really it was just a lot. And because a child could then could then ask their parent, you know, I want to buy a shirt because I want to, have this opportunity to be in a video, or I wanna do this because I wanna do that, and they might not realize that, like, that might not happen. And so, in Dogpack's second video, and he's hinted that there's a part 3 coming as well. In the second one, he interviews I am so bad with names. Um, uh, do. Y'all know me and names. And so, here he ends up doing this interview where they are having conversations about a video that never made it to it never made it onto the channel. And this part was concerning because he talks about an experience of being in solitary confinement. And even within prisons, so an individual can only be in solitude, I think it's 23 hours. I think they have to get out for at least an hour a day. We know, because of studies that can never be done again, that keeping somebody isolated within a room where they can't tell what day it is, what time it is, doing that over an extended period of time, that can cause significant harm to a person. And he just talks about just how the impact that had on him. It reminded me of the prison experiment, where they randomly assigned people to be prisoners and guards. It's the Zimbardo. Y'all know me in names. I think it's Zimbardo. I'm gonna type it in. Do do do. Zim- Yes, Zimbardo prison experiment. That was run out of Stanford. It can never ever be done again. It was conducted in 1971, and it was supposed to run for, I think they wanted to do it for 2 weeks. I believe it was canceled early because, because what ended up happening was the people that were randomly assigned to be a guard, started to get more and more controlling, and it was really starting to have an impact on the prisoners. And while the people that were randomly assigned to be a prisoner, they were technically able to leave at any time, they didn't. And the emotional state that a person can be in when in a situation like that, it really can impact a person's psyche. And so, yes, and 'cause they de-identified that, I think they gave them numbers, and these guards, those guards, the individuals did not spike for being having psychopathic traits or anything like that. But as soon as they were in that guard role, they started to engage in coercive control. Just that was just what happened, and that wasn't supposed to be a part of it. So this question says, what do you think about the celebrity and wealth that social media gives people who are not prepared for any of it? That's scary. It's really, really scary, especially people that their livelihood depends on the number of clicks and views that they receive. So I have a full-time private practice. I do YouTube for fun, and that's a privileged place, okay? So there are people that they are full-time creators, and creating content full-time is what they do. And the thing that I liked about MrBeast's channel is that overall it tended to be pretty positive, and I think that's what he was trying to do. But there's another individual who has been talking a lot about her experience with MrBeast, Rosanna Pacino, and I've linked her video down below. She alleges that she's found a leaked document, and within that document, there is this, no doesn't mean no, where if somebody says no, you can't film here, that that to not take that as the final answer, try talking to their boss, DM them, see if their kids are fans, that really just to try to get the end goal met almost by any means necessary. Those are my words, not anything that was put within here. And just when you have a culture that is where the end result is the goal, is, having a video that has 200 million or more views, that's the end goal, and we're gonna do it. And this is my interpretation of things that have been said. If it's gonna be done at any cost, so putting people's safety and their, possibly their mental health, their physical health, that becomes problematic. And so there have been allegations because there is an article like, are you willing to DIE for Mr. Beast, related to the Mr. Beast games that'll air on Amazon. I do suspect that once the show does come out, if they are able to finish filming, where it's going to be the largest prize that's ever been given. I think it's $5 million. I do suspect that people will watch it. I do think that the system that he does, it does technically work, but, I do worry, especially, like, children or people that use their children to make money on social media. I think that can become problematic, because what can end up happening in those situations is that, the child or the family then becomes the way that they're all making money. And they've talked about where parents have to be careful to not overshare about their children online. So if my child did something, I don't go and post it on social media. I do think that children should have privacy, and if my kiddo gets, older and he goes back and he watches something and he says, "I'm not comfortable with this," then, I would definitely take it down, and I do try to be mindful. So I don't post embarrassing things. People that record their children upset and then post that online, I think it's problematic. I don't watch videos like that. Um, I saw one recently, because sometimes things will just automatically play when you're scrolling, and, the video that I saw was a parent hosted a funeral for a child's parrot, and the child is devastated, and I commented on the video, "Give this 10 or 15 years, this child is gonna come into my office and be like, and I'm gonna say, 'What do you need to work on?' And the child is gonna pull up, this video from when they were 5 or 6, and it's very, very problematic. So those are some of my concerns. Um, uh, Timothy, I also think that your question goes back to, is it money that corrupts people, or was there something that was already there? And I do think that money just exposes what was kind of already there. And so if a person has an immaturity, or if a person values the money and fame, if that's really what their value is, I think things will happen that correspond with that. So my channel, so I've been accused of covering topics as a way to as a clout chaser. And somebody commented, they were like, "I know, oh, so you're covering this case today. I know you were covering Gypsy Rose all last week." And I'm just like, they didn't even look at my channel because I don't talk about Gypsy Rose here. I did one video before she was released from prison based on, I think, a documentary, and, I don't do these types of ongoing videos unless it's a court case like Sarah Boone. So Sarah Boone, yes, I do those videos, but, with with people that don't have any court involvement, that are just living their life doing things, I don't always cover this unless there's something for us to learn. And the void in between could be nature, nurture, and then also, so there have been some allegations specifically about Jimmy Donaldson that really, I don't think he was very popular growing up. It sounds like, I get concerned when YouTubers include their friends in their business and their videos, because sometimes what can happen, you can be recording something and not sure, did we have this interaction solely for the purpose of your content, or do we have an authentic relationship outside of the camera? I met a friend that I met on TikTok. She is a social worker out in Chicago. And the very first time we met, um, she had somebody record, and I was okay with it. Somebody recorded us meeting for the first time. And I've talked about this with her, and I've talked about it publicly before. She watched it and she was like, "Let's do that again." And for me, friends, I want my friendships to be authentic on and off the app. And so, hey, if it doesn't look exactly the way somebody wants it, I'm not recording it to get it right for social media. Like, I'm just that's not the type of presence I have. Like, nope. Like whatever we recorded, that's going to be the shot that we have, because I don't want us to just do things for the app. Like, I want to make sure that my relationships stay authentic. And that's just how I think of things. Um and I have the links. So Oompaville did a good, like, summer, like, he summarized everything. If you just wanna, I think it's like 30, 40 minutes. If you want an overview of what all's going on, it's a mess. It's a huge mess. And that authenticity, it is important to me. So I'm glad that I grew on other platforms before YouTube. So the first platform that I grew on was TikTok, and it was on accident, like anybody else. I thought I was too old for the app. Um, and I got on, I was just having fun. I did a video that did very well and doubled my following very quickly. I sometimes create over there. Really, I spend most of my time here on YouTube. But with I was glad that I kind of got to figure out lives and figure out how to engage with an audience, how to still be me. And so my goal is, no matter if I have 100 subs or if I have 100,000 subs, I still want to be Dr. Berry Responds, where I might not be able to respond to every single comment, but I want to make sure that I'm able to engage with the audience, that I stay approachable, and I stay true to why I started doing what I do. So I create this content to truly, for people that would never really talk about psychology or not really think about it, to be able to have conversations and to teach on topics that people might not think about. I truly am a psych nerd, and I love nerding out about psychology, and that's what we're going to talk about. I truly appreciate you all here. Animal Cookie, I'm so glad that my mom did not have social media to put me on when I was a kid. I'm I'm so glad. And I try to do the same thing for my kiddo as well. I let him stay in the office while I'm doing this one. Next, we're gonna talk about a court case, so he will go to his room for my next talk. But being authentic to who you are. So whatever your character, whatever your values, I'm glad I didn't figure out who I was while also trying to be on social media. So I have a firm identity outside of being a content creator. And I don't have the goal of doing this full time. So that's not even one of my goals. I'm thankful that doing this does give me the ability to pay off my student loans and to travel, but it's extra. My full-time work is more than fulfilling. That is what I love to do. Um let's go on ahead and talk about altruism. All right. And I have the link to this article down below. So, understanding the benefit of giving. And let's see. All right. So, how psychology influence altruism. Altruism is defined from the Latin word alteri, which means other people or somebody else. Indeed, altruism can be defined as the moral attitude and practice of giving unconditionally while expecting no reward and caring about the happiness of others. However, psychology debates that genuine altruism doesn't exist in human behavior, because even the giving that I do feel good about giving to the causes that I care about. Um, and so I kind of agree that I don't think there's ever a way to give, because I think sometimes when you give, you are going to kind of feel good about it. I love tipping my service people. So when I go to a restaurant, or I've talked about travel that I've done recently. So when people went above and beyond and gave us amazing service, being able to, just give a little extra, that's something that I do enjoy. Indeed, behind any gesture and act, there is always a self centered gratification by which the altruistic person receives a selfish emotional reward to please the ego. Therefore, the act of giving would leave the giver in a state of happiness while feeding a circle of kindness and happiness, in which kind people are happy and happy people are kind. I like that. I'll say that again. Kind people are happy and happy people are kind. And So, how would psychology influence altruism? Through empathy? An individual can understand and recognize the needs of others while unselfishly reacting to help those who need support. And I think there is a part of this that for me should happen without being recorded. Because I do think Jimmy has talked about, so Jimmy Donaldson, Mr. Beast, has talked about when he initially wanted to give $10,000 to a homeless person. So he found a partner to be able to donate, to provide the finances where he could donate that money, but he knew people would pay attention to $10,000 versus I gave $5,000, that wouldn't sound as much. But the idea of giving $10,000 to somebody that's going to make more people watch. And for me personally, that was the part that seem to more feed the ego and the algorithm versus being a truly selfless act. And he's a content creator. Does he have to be benevolent and altruistic? No. I do think that a large part of the image is this altruism and giving back, and that's where some people are just talking about it. I think he'll continue to remain a huge content creator. I think he'll continue to make videos. He'll continue to do what he does. I do hope that there is safety put in place. I do hope that employees are treated well, and that uh just that understanding that he is a media conglomerate like ABC or just like a larger media company. So, those safety nets need to be in place. So, let's see. This is accompanied by benevolence. Indeed, the wish to help others originates from kindness and giving without expecting a return and reward. Sympathy might reinforce the act of giving because feeling sorry for others and empathizing with others might enhance the sense of benevolence and the need to be helpful. Moreover, the act of giving can also be interpreted in the sense of devoting time or something to someone else, it's like charitable organizations. Therefore, sacrificial giving is the act of giving without claiming back any payment. However, this fact is very well connected with feeling of fear and religious beliefs, in which the act of giving can be translated into feeling like a moral obligation. So within churches, within religious organizations, people can feel like if I don't give enough, I won't, have this eternal reward, or like that people can connect it to like I don't know, almost buying salvation or something like that. Like sometimes people can connect it that way. So greediness, excuse me, greediness leads to selfishness. Greedy individuals show a tendency to keep things for themselves. This can be related to the possession of material items, dominance, and power, pushing them to wish for more. Besides, greediness leads to self preservation, which indicates the need for keeping and taking things for oneself. Are selfish people insecure? Insecurity may lead to the need to maintain resources, environments, things like that. And so I do just have this article linked below if people want to dive more into that selfishness, altruism kind of thing. I do think that these things are on a continuum where nobody is maybe 100% altruistic. And so I think often we live in the middle, where we have to balance these things, and each person has to do what's authentic for them. All right. Um, yes, yes, yes. And so I'm going to come back to the chat so we can finalize this. Only speaking from the religion I know, it's interesting to me that don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. Seemed like it's fallen out of the Christian mindset. And so that's where it's like giving, but not needing to talk about it or to brag about it or to post about it. Just doing it out of the kindness of your own heart. I think that's important. I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your day. If you want to stay along for a court case, please do. If you were just here for the entertainment, that works. I'm going to be going live in just a few minutes. I hope y'all have a great day.